Welcome to Keiser Voices, the story of success, brought to you by Keiser University Graduate School, here where the academic world meets personal triumph. Join us today as we dive into the captivating tales of success.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Keiser Voices. We are continuing our conversation of AI and really taking a look to see how AI is being used in the workplace. So, previous episode, we talked about ethical uses, and now we're actually putting it in motion. And to help us with this conversation is Dr. Donald DeSormoux, one of our deans here at the graduate school. We have Dr. Rebecca Bhiro, who is an alumni from our graduate school programs. And we have Dr. Matthias Eggertson, who is our program chair for our master's and doctoral of business programs here at Keiser University. So thank you three for taking the time out to join us today.
No worries at all.
My pleasure.
So I want to start off by asking you guys just about the evolution of AI, and specifically Dr. Bhiro, Dr. Eggertson, if you don't mind me picking on the both of you first. When you started out your doctoral program, Dr. Bhiro, obviously AI was not a big conversation piece at that time. But now AI feels like that's all we talk about. Are there aspects of looking back into your program where you would have wished you had the opportunity to incorporate AI, or are you happy that AI really wasn't a thing while you were pursuing your education?
Yes, I would have liked AI to be more prevalent during my doctoral journey at Keiser University. And it is because AI has been around for years. And now it's more proactive than reactive. And it's important. It's important that we know about AI. So AI has changed both the way I approach my work and my decision making by moving me away from a protection mindset per se toward a more preparation mindset. Turnitin, Heather, is a part of AI that we used at Keiser University, and it's still prevalent today. For example, adopting AI now more than then as a co-pilot, it has helped me become more of a facilitator of learning now, rather than a source of knowledge for students, just a sole source for knowledge of students. So we can say that AI ethically and responsibly as an additional context, more prevalent now, valuable for both academia and industry. It is also a known fact that decision-making for AI now, both personally and professionally, is a crucial soft skill. A crucial soft skill that enhances domain knowledge, and domain knowledge involves the what, the when, and the how of any industry. Any industry, also, it doesn't matter if you are a student or you're a professional in an industry. In a 2026 journal by Medema et al., it is suggested that decision making to integrate domain knowledge and AI data-driven learning base has a promising approach to keep humans in the loop. So the answer is yes. I would have liked to see more AI as a student at Keiser University, especially that it's been prevalent for years.
Thank you for that, Dr. Bhiro. And then, Dr. Eggertson, I know Dr. Bhiro had some great points when it came to her education as a student perspective. Before you were a faculty member here at Keiser University, before you were the program chair for our DBA and our MBA programs, just a few short years ago, you had your own business that you were successfully running. Comparing then to now, would AI have helped or changed at all your approach to those decision makings, or even just, problem solving in general with efficiency?
Yes, of course. I mean, when I got into business, I probably had my first website in 95, and I started using emails before it was common with using fax. And then finally, I was getting all my communication with my customer and suppliers through email. So in a way that I was able to eliminate quite a bit of employees, I would be able to do things more. But now with the new technology and learning how to use it, which is extremely important part, is to take advantage of the new technology and then use it correctly. And this is something that we are now planning for here at Keiser University. We talked to Dr. DeSormoux last week, and also with Dr. Robert Keiser, that he mentioned that we should include it in our coursework to help students to get used to it and be able to use it in the real world when getting to the on the market as employees. So I think this is great thing. I mean, technology may scare some people in the beginning, but in the end, no, don't fight it, but join it and take advantage of it. That's what how I think about this part. Yes.
And then, I really love your perspective from all three of you, but I'm going to start with Dean Donald. When we're looking at the challenges people are facing when AI is being incorporated into their work, how are you seeing it being handled? I know you're on one of the committees here at Keiser about looking at how to add it into usages for student usages for faculty, even just day-to-day usages here at the institution. What are you seeing when it comes to the challenges to it?
Yeah, definitely a great question. I would think one of the biggest roadblocks may be that confidence and that anxiety of something new. So the biggest challenge is really that hesitation, because if you don't understand it, how can you utilize it? I like how we talked earlier about kind of these soft skills that we used to have in the workplace. How do we continue to advance our technical skills to also showcase some of our presentations and some of our research and things that need to be taken to the next level? And these things can be extremely efficient if we use them properly. And so if we can slowly integrate that ease of the confidence issues that some people may face when they're going with technology and trying to incorporate things that they're not used to using, I think the anxiety will ease for a lot of individuals. Think about the fear of public speaking. A lot of individuals, have those challenges where they have to overcome certain things throughout a variety of their education program. And so when our doctoral students defend their research and their applied doctoral projects and they explain their presentations, and then we help them publish those and get them to other academic journals, these are all opportunities that probably 3 or 4 years ago, they wouldn't have felt comfortable about, right? But now they have the confidence, they understand the knowledge, they have the research, and they're an expert in certain areas of research based on the discipline and the program that they were doing. So my advice is really to focus in on how you can remove those minor barriers and just get comfortable with understanding it, using it as an opportunity to develop and grow, and just kind of ease yourself into some of those technical skills. And then if you have a question, ask and interact and use role plays and use different things we can do to help you understand what's the best ways to use certain tools and why they're efficient.
Dr. Bhiro, and thank you, Dean Donald, for answering that question. You've left the nest, if you will, and you're out there, you're putting your skills to use, you're working. What are you seeing when it comes to challenges in the workplace?
Great question, Heather. Thank you for that. Okay, so some of the biggest challenges I have seen with AI, specifically in the higher education workplace, is to include and setting an AI percentage threshold in the academic policy. I've seen that. In the facilitators of learning allocating time for the research, which is the best AI tool to do this, and also to recommend the cost concerns. When it, recommending the AI tool, the first thing is, oh my God, cost. Cost is a main concern. And the number one that I saw was setting up a threshold, an AI percentage usage threshold in the academic policy. A study in 2025 by Schmidt et al. On integrating AI in higher education suggests that faculty can expand their AI knowledge with online courses, peer learning, and workshops to overcome some of the challenges. But the number one challenge that I saw was setting an AI threshold percentage in the academic policy for students to see it and to know how much they can use AI.
And Dr. Eggertson, I see you nodding along with the points that Dr. Bhiro and Dr. DeSormoux have made thus far. When we take a look at preparing these students to leave, and then take a look at your real world knowledge of operating a business, are there different challenges that you're seeing? Are they much along the same lines?
It is connected. However, you can expedite it with the knowledge and taking advantage of the AI, helping you finding out, say, like, what one might be the pitfalls, may help you through to not having to go through those extra painful pitfalls so that you do in a business, because if it fails, you just have to stand up again and try again, and try to figure the way. And you reading a lot of books, same thing. Now you can get the information a little bit faster without having to read 20 books. But the other part is, though, you have to be careful, like, what is it, or who is it? Can you verify the information you're getting? Is it legit, and does it make sense to you? And then is maybe somebody else with a different point of view on how to approach that topic. So it is, of course, it is great, but you also have to, like I say, learn how to use it and get the most out of it.
So then, Dr. Eggertson, how does an organization or even an individual decide, which tools or applications are worth adopting into their workflow?
Well, the thing is that you have seen in one AI that they will basically start answering to your emails, and the part is that really that you will kind of have to read them first too before somebody sends out. You have them access to your bank account. They can have access to your critical information, and then maybe in the future, this is going to be it's going to be it. But the thing is that how for us, or at least for myself now, what I thought was not possible before would be ridiculous, but now it's just norm. So I think it is something following through and making sure that you feel comfortable with it too. I mean, it can also bring up stress level if you are not comfortable doing what you're doing. So you have to make sure that you are comfortable with it. If you're in a business role or academia doing things, and it is something that you have to try to understand and the more you do it, the better you get.
Dr. Bhiro, I had a failed attempt at using it to read my emails. Did not work out well for me. Upset a couple of people on the one time I attempted it. So live and learn. How have you decided what tools or applications are worth adopting?
Okay, so I have learned from drilling deeper into research that the use case driven approach is recommended in the higher education industry. Because it helps to identify some specific points, such as instructional tools for lesson planning, assessment tools for academic integrity in grading and giving feedback, and administrative tools as well to assist admissions. In addition, it is learned that this approach is secure and ethical because it helps institutions plus industries to mitigate risks to data privacy, academic integrity, and bias by methodically analyzing which explicit AI tools to adopt. So I strongly believe in the use case driven approach because
Thank
it
you.
really helps with the details.
You know, and that makes sense. I mean, Dean Donald, have you experienced, I'm sorry, let me try that again. Dr. DeSormoux, have you experienced a situation where it was not worth replacing daily workflow issues with AI?
Sure, I think definitely when you're trying to focus in on that human aspect of what you're trying to get across, it's important because your tone or things could be misinterpreted through some of the examples that you both have shared. So I would say that in our daily use, you have to be careful and cautious. You could really break it down really simply for yourself and just really ask yourself, does this actually help me accomplish my goals? And what's the effect and cause it's going to have on another individual, whether it's a faculty or a student. If you can then answer that for yourself, you can be able to move things forward and be able to think positively about the tool sets you're using and the efficiency you have. But to one of the points that was brought up earlier, if we are using these tools effectively, are we citing our sources still, and are we still explaining what we're using? Because you could use the AI and you can still cite the AI in a citation via APA about what you used and what you didn't use, and you could still paraphrase information and you could still accomplish research goals. You may get some assistance with your data analytics or your statistics for some survey research that you're looking for. Maybe you're looking at ways that you can find trends in the data. Because we all have different programs that we used in the past for that, like Excel or different programs that were built for those situations. So now I think, like Dr. Eggertson was saying too, the future is here in some way, shape, or form. So we have to figure out how we surround it in our environment where it's effective for everybody.
And you definitely have some valid thoughts to take into consideration when we're looking at responsible, like using AI responsibly and effectively in the workplace. And then I guess then for Dr. Bhiro and Dr. Eggertson, before we let you three go, what advice do you have to someone who is looking to be responsible and effective in their job when it comes to AI? And Dr. Bhiro, I don't know if you want to start us off with an answer on that.
Sure. Thank you, Heather. I want to conclude by saying AI is everywhere. Its components in student learning, Turnitin, social media, the algorithm, conversations, voice activation, conferences. We have a portable attached speaker phones, and newsfeed. We have now the Citizen app. These are all traditional AIs that have been with us for years. So my advice to responsibly and effectively use AI in their jobs is to be cognizant that AI has shifted from the traditional to the generative phase. Is there a possibility of transforming higher education? It is highly likely. Does the shift increase alarming concerns? Possibly, but an always open-minded positionality in learning and teaching always supports the effectiveness and efficiency.
Thank you for pointing out those items that we're already using. And I think most people don't realize that it actually is AI, like the algorithms with what you're seeing in Facebook. And I'm sure it's a little bit more evident now because there's been some recent court cases regarding that too. So I appreciate you pointing out some of those day to day that just people don't even register with. And then Dr. Eggertson, what advice do you have?
I think you use it and do not think about it's bad. You take advantage of using, however, before you submit it as an email or assignment, paper, or whatever you're doing, read it over thoroughly. Make sure that you understand what it is, and do you agree with it? If you have a doubt, dive a little bit deeper into it and see, does it make sense? Even if it does make sense to you, you go deeper into it, see like, yes, it is. You find somebody else to support that information. So, okay, you can go with it, and then now you understand it. So I think it's important. I've unfortunately seen somebody sending out some information, but often we see autocorrect in texting, that you sent before. It's like, oh no, they changed it to totally different thing. But that's the same thing. So you read it and make sure, proofread it, and before you press send or submit.
Amazing. Thank you three so much for taking the time to come and join our listeners today to talk about how AI is being used at work, or how you can use AI at work. So I'd like to thank all three of you for joining us.
If I may add one more thought to that. So use it as a support tool, not a replacement, right? Stay thoughtful in how you use it. I like to see that as we grow here at Keiser, and in my role as a dean, I see myself trying to help faculty feel comfortable with it so they can get students to move through these tools effectively, so that they can really help them learn and grow. We can really take the graduate school to another level of the research, because this is the future and we all want to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Dean DeSormoux. And thank you guys for joining us. And if you guys have enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow, and continue listening out through the month of April as we continue our conversation on AI, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for journeying with us today on Keiser Voices, the story of success. As we close this chapter, remember, every story has its next page.